Hi patrons, Scott here from the Introvert Power channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about why INFJs shouldn't waste their FE time. And what I essentially mean by that is INFJs are vulnerable to trying to create harmony in situations and with people when it's either not necessary or not healthy to do that. And I'm going to look at it from two perspectives. One is dealing with the INFJ dealing with healthy people, and the second way talking about unhealthy people. So the first type is just dealing with people that have a preference for thinking and logic. And what INFJs can tend to do is be trying to communicate in a way that doesn't hurt their feelings, and trying to sort of massage the communication as though they're talking to another NF. And that can cause an INFJ to waste a lot of energy and a lot of time trying to achieve something that is actually not important to the other person. So what that can look like is for the other person is they're watching the INFJ sort of beating around the bush, not getting to the point, and kind of being, I guess you could say, fluffy or flowery in the communication. And a way of looking at how to address this is that sort of like turning kind of this harmony idea upside down, is seeing that by being more direct and to the point with thinking types, especially like NTs and STs, is speaking more plainly and directly and to the point will actually create harmony within the communication with STs and NTs, because you're communicating their language. So, and it will also help the INFJ to save a whole lot of energy by in a sense switching off that it's not switching off FE, it's maybe flexing it a little bit, in that for the most part thinkers are not too concerned about having their feelings hurt. So they're just wanting the facts, the detail, the logical reasoning behind a response. So it's really important to just kind of filter that FE to be delivering the logic. And what you'll probably find as the other person will respond in a positive way and in a engaging way, because you're speaking their language, and in a sense that will kind of be a feedback loop of harmony, in the sense that they'll be engaging. Because what can happen is, if an INFJ is trying to massage their communication, the thinker preferred person listening will just be there can be kind of a neutral face while they're trying to understand the logic behind what you're saying, and that can look cold, and the INFJ can then be going, okay, I need to continue to massage my words because they're not kind of giving me much warmth or engagement back. So kind of can get into a bit of a spiral, a bit of a trap, trying to communicate in that way. So flexing one's style can be very helpful to when communicating with thinkers, and be able to, and through that we'll be able to develop quite a good rapport. The second area is when dealing with unhealthy people, and that could be either in family or in a workplace or even in a school setting, where an INFJ is trying to be gentle, trying to be kind, trying to create a warm and inviting atmosphere. Unhealthy people most likely will want to take advantage of that. And so I want to move away from sort of MBTI types and just talking about unhealthy people. So a few things can happen there. That the other type will see that as a weakness, or sorry, not the other type, but the unhealthy person could see that as a weakness and want to exploit the INFJ. And if the INFJ has an insecurity or a vulnerability, sensitivity, the INFJ could sort of fall into their trap, whereby they're sabotaging the atmosphere with whether it's rudeness or manipulation and things like this. And then the INFJ tries to continue to warm up the atmosphere and create harmony and connection. And that just further draws the INFJ into their schema, into their manipulation or into their control. And it's really important to be sort of picking that up and sort of having it in one's mind. Okay, I'm trying to create a warm atmosphere. This person seems to be taking advantage of this. I essentially need to stop doing that and putting a stop to it. And that doesn't necessarily mean being confrontational. It may just be removing yourself, limiting your engagement with that person, or just choosing to actually assert yourself with a boundary, whether that is just choosing not to engage at that level with them. It really would depend on the situation about how you would put the boundary in place, but essentially it's stopping getting into that dynamic where you're kind of feeding their need to manipulate and control. And that can even go a step further with the more sort of narcissistic or sort of sociopath personality type that wants to feed off your empathy, feed off your FE essentially, and because they essentially can't feel, the more narcissistic or sociopath type personality seems to, for some reason, gravitate to empaths, which is quite a unusual a phenomenon. But I think on one level it's simply that they enjoy feeding off the attention of other people, and INFJs are very good at giving very positive attention, and but that can become very damaging when there's this one-sided feeding, if you like, especially if they're the manipulative type, that they will want to not just feed from your empathy and your warmth, but will want to somehow abuse you at the same time, and make you a victim and victimize you. And so that is a very unhealthy and very dangerous place to get to. So essentially, boiling it all down, it's recognizing when for the INFJ, when they're FEing in their environment, where they're trying to create warmth, cooperation, harmony, and there's somebody in that environment that is choosing to exploit that or just take advantage of that, see it as a weakness, to recognize that, consciously choose to recognize that this person is actually trying to take advantage and manipulate me, and choosing to discontinue trying to please them, trying to get them on side. And that doesn't require like a sort of opposite response of getting combative, but it might be just a case of choosing to firstly not engage with them in that way. Second is to either limit your involvement or your exposure to those people as much as you can, where that's necessary, or it might be a case of just choosing to sort of shut off that harmony and get factual about whatever's been communicated, and in a sense it's like choosing not to get manipulated by them and not coming under their manipulative control, and asserting yourself in any way that you need to let them know that you can see what they're doing and they need to stop it. And again, that just requires some wisdom in how that's done. Every situation would require a slightly different approach, but I hope that this has been helpful. It's sort of just highlighting this vulnerability that INFJs can have with trying to warm up an environment where people just want to take advantage of that. And I think INFJs can save a whole lot of time and energy and avoid a lot of pain by recognizing those sorts of people that want to take advantage and want to manipulate, and just withdraw oneself from trying to please them or get them on side. So I hope you found this video helpful. Appreciate it if you have any questions or comments on the video, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in another video.